Hello. Sorry, as I grabbed my lightsaber, you'd never believe it, I activated it and actually stabbed straight through my computer. Luckily, the backup computer kicked in. Can you believe it? So very lucky. And actually, I'm back. I'm back for the stream. Sorry about that. Now this VOD's going to be split into a couple. Really apologize. I am back, though. I am back. Let me spam refresh. For a second. And then we'll start the music back up. There we are. Hello, hello, hello. Either way. Sorry, I was grabbing this because, as you're about to see. Oh, no, I lost the person's profile. The person's profile's gone. Twitter refreshed when the PC crashed. Sorry. This is my lightsaber, by the way. That's what I was trying to show you. I'm a green kind of guy. I like green lightsaber. Find a better background for this. Doesn't this look sick? Yeah! Anyway. I think lightsabers would be pretty good for your dating profile. That person, they were a Disney adult though, so they got a 4. They had a lightsaber though, that's what brought you up from a 3. Either way, I lost your profile. Maybe you had some redeeming qualities, but, you know, I'll never know. Either way, welcome back. Can we hear your Yoda impression?
Join the good side, you must. The dark side, evil it is.
Either way. Oh, wait, this is going a bit quick. Hold on, please. Okay, Talia. Lots of heritage, right? That's a cool thing, right? Possibly multilingual. Always cool to know. However, maybe this is a personal preference. Maybe this is a personal preference. The paintball thing's kind of cool. And the gamer thing's kind of cool. But, personal preference thing here? Personal preference thing here? I feel like if you're that into drinking and doing drugs that the third thing you list about yourself is that you drink and do drugs, you maybe like drinking and doing drugs a little bit too much. I enjoy some drinking. I wouldn't list it as the second thing about me. You know? Again, it's judgmental of me, but it was handed over here for me to judge, you know? That's all I'm saying. Like, that would red flag me a little bit. You know what I mean? Either way. Online games, nightlife, binge watching TV series. That's fine. Paintball. They're into paintball. I like that. That's a cool fucking hobby to be very into, I think. That's a cool fucking hobby to be, like, very into. I like that. Oh, they're a paintball marshal. Oh, that's cool. It's your job, too. That's really cool. More paintball. 505, good song. This is a good profile beyond this bit. But, like, that genuinely knocks it down a good few points for me. I don't know. It's like making your personality about paintball kind of sick. Cool thing to make it about. I don't know, bro. Like, bro, you listen, you like to drink and do drugs that soon? I'm like, how much you like drinking and doing drugs? You know what I mean? That really, like, knocks it down for me. I'd say like a 7. Like, it has to be like a 7. Like a 7, you know? A 7. Okay. Okay. Next profile, next profile. We have this individual here. Kai. People are saying, but she has pretty privilege. I don't care how you look, right? I'm not gonna... You think I'm really gonna get on here and judge people's looks? Like, I'm gonna, like, use it like actual Tinder, but live and be like, nah, they ugly, bro. 2. No way, bro. I'm not skewing the points down to whether people are pretty or not. I'd be really... What a shitty stream. Can you imagine that? That'd be such a shit stream. I just feel bad. Either way. Quite a good blend of pictures, I must say. Quite a good blend. I'd do more with the friends, personally. I'm a bigger fan of pictures with friends. I like to see people hanging out, you know? I like to see people hanging out. But, good blend of pictures. Sorry, I got a text halfway through that. Anyway, let's watch the video. Alright. Slow down, fucking hell. Okay. Front bottoms, I like the front bottoms. It's a good anthem. Interesting. D&D is a cool little thing. That's cool. Binge watching TV shows, reading art, tattoo. That's cool. Smoker, hey, you're admitting it. I don't mind about that. I don't mind. I don't judge. I don't want the last drugs thing, me judging that, to feel like I judge people who do those things. It ain't about that. Like, this gives you the option to, like, tick it onto your profile, and I think honesty is the best policy, so you should. But I think when you're just given a free-form box to write about yourself, and, like, the second thing you go is, I drink a lot, that's then a red flag. That's kind of how I see it. Like, sorry. So, I don't give a shit about that. Better in person. Again, I fuck with people like that, because that's me. Modern sports, modern baseball sports. I like that. Good collection of songs.
Convinced me to give you money for this long. Love the stream.
Because I'm charming. I'm a genius. And this stream was the donation Tinder profile. All of you will be swiping right on donate. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for the 23-month stocks and stuff. I really do appreciate it. Now, the thing is, the top of the hour ad's going to be skewed because I don't know how long we were live before it crashed. We'll just keep going for a little bit longer, and then we'll run an ad before we do Portal. That's how we're going to do it. The top of the hour ad is skewed. People who didn't sub, you are saved for today. I don't know when the top of the hour is. But yeah. Some good songs in here. This is a good profile. I like this profile. I'm going to give this one... I like the interest as well. This is like an 8.5. I feel like, you remember that one I gave a 9? I preferred their collection of pictures. I feel like it was a better blend of, like, some with friends and some... These are all just kind of selfies. Nothing wrong with selfies. I just like to see a bigger blend. Like a couple of the picture people have taken of you. I don't know. I don't know why that's how my brain works with it. But like an 8.5 out of 10 profile. It's good. You got some decent interests. Nothing is jumping out to me, though. You know what I mean? None of it's making me go, wow, that's a really, really, really sick person. Kind of cool person. Cool person. Kind of cool person. Bro took... What is this image? Bro took the longest image on Earth. Or for readability, this profile goes down to, like... It's capped at a 6. Because of the readability of it. You've got a hard cap of 6. I'm gonna have to scroll. I can't fucking read this, Vicky. About me, Miss Kid. Yeah, Vicky, you're slipping. You're slipping, Vicky. You're a leftist, at least. You like... Oh, your personal hell is Youngblood. Thank Jesus. I thought you were about to say you liked Youngblood. I was going to freak out. My God. Okay. Honest. Your favorite quality... I'm sorry. I'm really sorry here, Vicky, but I can't... Bro, you put your favorite quality was honestly. It's not quality, Vicky. It's... Vicky, remember how I hard capped you at 6? Because You then put you were an avid Mizkif viewer, which I never admit to a significant other ever. I'm dropping you to a 4, Vicky. I'm very sorry. This is an actively, I don't fuck with this profile.
Man. Riz Raider on the rise.
I don't fuck with this profile. I'm sorry. Admit so it's true. I'm not saying it is true. I'm just saying if it was true. I'm just saying if it was true, I wouldn't be saying it. That's what I'm saying. You know? Emma. Okay. She's a 6, but Harry Styles was a top listened to artist of 2022. Let me judge your favorite serial. Social studies, man. I'm intrigued by that. I wonder what social studies taught you about people's favorite cereal. I feel like that's something you gained from social studies and not just something you kind of, you know. Bad texter, that's fine. I'm a bad texter. I ain't great at that. I never judge anyone on that. Taylor Swift fan. Taylor Swift's okay. I fuck with it. I trust activism, Black Lives Matter. Activism's pretty strong. Cat lover, movies, feminism. Again, just a lot. Just a socially aware individual. Nothing wrong with that. I'm intrigued by the cereal thing. It wouldn't work on me. I don't eat cereal because I don't like milk. And I don't like anything that's soggy. I don't like taking a crunchy thing and sogifying it. I think soggy is generally just a terrible... Like, think about this. Whoever, what if we made a perfectly crunchy food, but then made it soggy? Whoever took a... Like, if you... Soggy? Yeah, no, fuck that. Like soggy's... No. The fact that, like, the requirement of cereal to eat it is sogification is just wrong. Like, you know, that's just wrong. I've tried eating dry cereal, but the problem is it's dry. Like, it needs a bit of moisture. But, like, you can't just dribble a bit of milk on it. I've never found like, because the thing is with cereal, you've got to, like, speed run it. It's like doing a speed run. You've got to pour the milk on it and then eat it before it becomes soggy. You'll be like, like, that's the problem. I just don't fuck with cereal. Always too soggy. Night owl, I get that. Gym sometimes. You know what? The fact that you do it's better than most. You're in college, it's kind of cool. The Harry Styles thing, I actually like... I fuck with the Harry Styles music. Alright, I like the Harry Styles. I got Harry's House on vinyl for Christmas. Alright? I like Harry Styles. But... it ain't as unique as you think. Like, if I was to put together a list of, like, most favorites, like, most people's top artists, like who was the most common top artist of the year, I'd put Harry Styles, like, in the top 20. You know? Like, I feel like the thing with dating profiles is to make yourself stand out, and you basically just said the most, like, generic thing about you. It's not a bad thing. I fuck with it. Top literal 5. Let's Google it. Let's Google it right now. Most common Spotify top artists. I wonder if this is data that's out there. No. There's actually... So I don't believe that there's an answer? It doesn't appear that there's an answer from what I'm seeing. I found a website that is just like the years, like most listened to, maybe. I'd like to figure out who like is the most. That's interesting. Either way, most streamed artists on Spotify. Harry Styles. Let's have a look. Harry Styles. He isn't in the top 20, so
2 years.
He's 40th. He's 40th. Oh, Ramu. Yes! I'm so glad you can walk, King. Welcome. I'm judging people's dating profiles and therefore rears. Yeah, no, he's 40, which is... Of all time, Drake is the most streamed. Bad Bunny is the second. Who the fuck is Bad Bunny? Who are you? How have I never heard of you? Bad Bunny? Oh, he's a Latino artist. Oh, mad. I guess the Latino community just got really behind my guy. That's sick. Ed Sheeran is number 3. Taylor Swift is number 4. And The Weeknd is number 5. Trying to see if there's anyone I listen to. All right, there is, but I'd rather not say their name. They, you know, I fucked with them for a bit, but they kind of changed they kind of changed their tone a little bit. Is there anyone that I would like to admit listening to that's in the sort of like top 50 even? I'm curious. Kendrick Lamar. I like a bit of Kendrick Lamar. He's 26. I like a little bit of Kendrick. It's not Rex. Rex 1 isn't up there, but 2 Rexes. Rex got fucking Rex's shit got dropped. All the charges got dropped. I think we all know who it is. Like one of the most controversial people right now. It's not Rex. Rex all the charges got dropped. I haven't started singing his music on stream again yet because I kind of I'm in this position where I'm like, I don't want people to. A lot of people won't be in the loop yet with the charges, and will be like, he's bad, you know. Like I'm still in that position where like if I started singing it, like 90% of people would be like, you know, he's bad, but like no, all the charges got dropped. Doesn't mean he's innocent. No, but I'll explain the exact situation. The charges were dropped because the woman claimed that she was touched by Rex. So all 6 sexual assault charges against Rex Orange County were from one woman. And she basically, the several counts were several individual instances where she was touched. Once on the bum, once on like the leg. Like I can't remember the exact things, but there were 6 instances of touching. What she claimed was 6 instances of touching. However, they then interviewed her partner, and her story didn't line up with her partner's story. And not only that, CCTV footage of that event proves that that story just isn't true. So it isn't just like the charges got dropped. There's like actual evidence that it's not even like there just wasn't evidence to support her. There was actually evidence that didn't support her, which is like a little bit more like, oh, that's a little bit more feasible. It's not like they say he's innocent, but it could be true. It's like, oh no, it like actually probably isn't true. They actually investigated it, and the evidence dictates that it does seem like lies. You know, whether something comes out later, I mean, hey, you can never like forget about these things, but as of now, evidence dictates he's like actually for real innocent. So I personally have started listening to the music again because, hey, you know, I mean, you know, I enjoy the music, and if evidence says the guy is, you know, innocent, then what am I supposed to do? You know, not believe it, I guess. Keep eyes on the situation. That's all you can do, really. But for now, evidence says he's innocent. I can only agree with the evidence. You know? Either way. Oh yeah, this profile. God, we got fucking distracted. Yeah, good profile, socially active, yada, yada, yada. I was saying all this stuff. The Harry Styles thing isn't as unique as you think, but it's a decent profile. I wish I could have seen more pictures from it, though. I'm kind of capping you at a 7. It could be a better. There's more pictures there, and you haven't shown them off. I'm just kind of like, why? You know? Have some fucking confidence about your pictures. Again, it's a lot of people on the internet. It's scary. I'm just saying. I'm capping you at a 7. But I think it has potential to be an 8. Absolutely, I do. Either way. Let's move on. This year, I really want to meet my idols. They tell you not to do that, but I like the fact... You know, they say don't meet your idols, but this person actually wants to do exactly the opposite of what they say. And I respect that rebellious attitude. You're going up in my margins. You're an internet persona, so studying graphic artist at home. Okay. Venice High School. You're not political? That's fine. I respect anyone who doesn't want to get involved in politics. Dating is like seeing your best friend in the car across from you and realizing they are listening to the same song as you. I'm trying to pick. Hold on, I'm just trying to set the scene for this. Hold on. Allow me to set the scene. That's probably how that would go down, I think. That's a pretty... I enjoyed that experience. I had a big smile on my face by the end. That would be a shocking... Yeah. No, absolutely that would be good. Yeah, okay. That you sounds pretty cool. Yeah, cool. Okay. All right, fuck with it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad that didn't strike me as first, but when I acted it out, absolutely it was pretty good. Yeah, all right, cool. Together we could rule the internet. Then, through the internet, we could rule the world, becoming billionaires together. I respect this. You know what? Respectable profile. Respectable profile, you know? I personally wouldn't have went for the internet persona in the job description. No, and trust me, that basically is my job description. But I wouldn't have gone for it. I usually, whenever people ask me my job, I just put social media. And I put entertainment. I say entertainment and I do not elaborate. But graphic art is pretty cool, so, you know. It's like this is a 9.5 out of 10. Entertainer. Bro, are you not entertained? What are you here for? Bro, if you're not entertained, fuck off. Alright? I'm entertaining. Alright? My job is to entertain. I'm an entertainer. Right, and someone put adult entertainer in chat. Let me tell you, once you get into this job, you'll realize there is no way to describe this job unless you... There's two ways to describe this job. Either you say YouTuber and you get weird looks, or you say something ambiguous like entertainer, or I work online, or social media. And everyone thinks you're a porn star. So, yeah, there's no good way of saying it. Say online entertainer, everybody thinks you jerk off for a living, right? Look, there's no way of doing it. And, like, everyone... Like, when my mum... Like, I left... Me and my mum worked for the same company, and I left. And obviously, a lot of people knew why I left, because, the people who worked with me... But the people who worked with my mum... Like, oh, your son, he left. And he was like, yeah. And they asked me what I did for a living. And my mum was like, oh, he works on the internet. And her boss was like... He probably didn't do it like that, but my mum definitely... My mum implied to me that he had implied that I was, like, some sort of cam boy. He probably didn't do it. That probably wasn't the way. He imagine your boss doing that to you. Like, he asked if your son... He just does this. That'd be a HR complaint. He didn't do that, but, like... He definitely, like, thought I was a cam boy, apparently. Which, hey, you know what? I mean... I'd probably make a lot more if I was, you know? I hear Dreamy Bull's doing great. I don't know about him. Don't ask me how I know about him. Either way, 9.5 profile. It isn't perfect because of the internet persona thing, but I can appreciate that. I've never found a good way of saying that. It's not your fault. But you still didn't achieve it. I've never achieved it, but you haven't either. Either way. Holy shit, Jocelyn Joestar! 10 out of 10. Also, the profile's in French. I don't know what it says. I don't know what it... The profile's in French. The profile's a JoJo reference and it's in French. I don't know what that says. I feel like there's a lot of people that would like think that's a quirky little joke for a lot of people. I'm way too like cis straight to feel like I can like I like, don't get me wrong, I'm not against it, but if I clicked it, I'd feel like I was pretending to be something I'm not, which is the problem. Like, so, you know, like I just absolutely, it doesn't work for me, but it works for others, and I appreciate that. Oh, wait, shit, I zoned out, sorry. Explore around the city. I want to meet new people and see new places. That's cool. Makeup artist? Cool. Liberal. Those darn liberals! I'm joking. Guys, I'm joking. Oh, we got our first polyamory person. That's interesting. They fucking with that phenomena. Do. Lib up. We're libbing up for this one. I fuck with a lib up. We're taking the blue pill. I'm joking. The internet, every internet like term is just so... Guys, liberals are the true red pill takers. That's all I'm going to say. Look, I'm with you guys. I'm with you guys. Either way, English and French. I had assumed that. My to be relaxation is sleep. I'm always fucking tired. If I don't answer, it's because I'm sleeping. Respectable. That's a cute picture. That looks like it was professionally taken. I thought with a professional headshot. This is French. I don't know what it says. If I oh wait. If I like you, you will gain weight. That's cute. That's a cute little thing. I like the love language of cooking for people. That's kind of cool. I know it says my incredible talent. I can speak a little bit of French. Though I don't know enough to know what that means. Sure it means something cool though. Sure it means something cool. It's a funny little image though. It's a funny little image. That bird's eating the A. Ah! That's how I imagine it. I imagine the bird. If I could be the bird for a second. It's like how I imagine that bird would be, so it's pretty good. Let me have a look. Okay, negative points for being French, but generally speaking, JoJo reference. Funny little joke I think people would like. It's cool, I like that. Cool job. Bilingual's always sick. I like, don't get me wrong, non-monogamy, is it for me? No, it ain't. But at the same time, I can't really judge for it, you know. It's an interesting little thing. And enjoy your damn self. You're young, do what you want. Sleep, I'm always fucking tired. I like that honesty. Nice little professional headshot. Cooking, that's cool. Your talent, I guess, is makeup, I'm gonna guess. You're a makeup artist. Makes sense. It's pretty good. Ah. I'm getting roasted because I laughed at someone's spelling. My bad. I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry, Vicky. Look, the spelling wasn't what knocked you down to a 4. It was the miskiff thing. And also, the lack of visibility. I'm struggling to read. It wasn't... You can donate all you want. I actually appreciate it because I get money. But you know. Being French is a JoJo reference when you think about it. Is it? JoJo French. Who was French? Oh, fucking, oh, what's his name? I haven't watched JoJo in a while. It's the French motherfucker. With the hair, the tall hair. Jojo. That's funny. Polnareff, thank you. Fucking hell. This shit's creepy as fuck. Bro, this would be a... If I saw this, this would be a 1. I'm not even amused. This shit creepy as hell. That makes me feel like a... I don't like taxidermy particularly. It's kind of cool. Well, not of small rodents. They're dead rodent corpses are gross. Little... I've always found... I've always felt like a sick to my stomach feeling whenever I saw dead, like, birds or, like, rodents. I've always... Like, I feel it in my stomach. I don't get queasy, but, like, that's the only time I ever do. I just think they're kind of gross. Taxidermy's gross, bro. When it's, like, a little animal. I once saw a big taxidermized bear. That's kind of cool. If they hunted the bear, it's less cool. But if it just... Like, if a bear just kind of dies and you get it taxidermized, they're a big fucking creature. They're like, it looks cool, admittedly. But, you know, if you didn't hunt the thing, then it looks pretty cool. But that, I don't fuck with. That's like a... It's got a 1 out of 10, man. I don't fuck with that at all. This is a Bumble profile. Let's have a look at this. I've never downloaded a dating app. I'm proud of me for knowing the dating apps. I downloaded Tinder once, and then I thought about the prospect. I was like, now it's time to make your profile. And I went, oh, I really, like, you know what? My whole bit about having a huge ego is really not true. I don't like at all trying to, like, actually be... I don't actually like trying to sell myself at all. I like Staffordshire. Like halfway, they got nervous. They get like, this is funny. They're like nervous to speak to you. They're like, "I'm from Staffordshire." That's funny. I like that. I love concert and I love at concerts and Twitch streams as my coping mechanisms. I may seem shy at first, but once you get to know me, I'm hyper and bubbly. I'm gender fluid, so if you date me, you're gay. Oh shit! Wait. Are non-binary people always gay? Sorry, I need to break this. Toast and Jam, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. Non-binary people, are you always gay? Can you not be gay? Is that possible? So I was like, wait, no, because I was like, well, yeah, because if you're a guy, then gender fluidity, right? They could be a they could be a guy one day. So then you would be gay. If you're a girl, and they could fluid their way over to the female bit, so you could be gay. If you're non-binary, I guess they're always gay. Yep. Guess if you date them, you're always gay. That's okay. Oh, it's a fun little joke. I never considered that before, and I like that I'm thinking about it. I like that it made me think. I like it. Doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. I respect that. I respect someone who's straight-laced. I think it takes a lot of self-control. Like, I've started not drinking. That was one of my New Year's resolutions. I'm 3 days in. I thought about having a drink twice already. I love drinking, man. It's hard. Yeah. I respect anyone who's straight-laced. They liberal, libbed up. I respect that. Undergraduate degree, it's kind of cool. Writing, video games, tea, beaches, dogs. All great things. Romantic walk on the beach with a picnic with a beautiful sunset. I mean, I tell you what, you're fucking sending it there. If you can somehow pull off that date, that is definitely perfect. Let me just tell you that much. You're 20. That is very true. Probably if you're considering trying to quit. I'm trying to quit for a bit. I don't want to be straight-laced my whole life. I think drinking is fun. I can enjoy it. But I just don't want... I want to try not for a bit. I just want to practice that level of self-control for like a few months. I'll start again. Probably less than I did before. But like, you know, I'll start up again. I enjoyed it on an occasion. But I think practicing that self-control for a few months is good. Like, I'm going to do more than dry Jan. I'm going to do it till like April or something. Yeah. Anyway. Quickest way to my heart is chocolate, concerts, and cuddles. Makes sense. I get too excited about learning about your special interests and also sharing mine. Makes sense. Teacher assistant at not saying. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, I mean... Fair enough. Nothing about the profile, like, jumped out to me, but also nothing about it's bad. It's all just very, like, decent stuff. Decent stuff. Everything's fine. Fair enough. I got nothing against it. Everyone's saying, like, 9 or 10. Look, I'm a harsh critic. I'm gonna give it, like, an 8. It's good. I think it's gonna work for you. You know? I need something that wows me to give it, like, a 9 or a 10. No offense here. I'm not wowed by anything. I like the little... I like this. I like the little... I'm gender fluid, so if you date me, you're gay. It's kind of funny.
JackManifold grind way.
I like Staffordshire. Let me chuckle a bit. It's an 8. It's a decent profile. It's good enough. I like it. You know? You're going to go far with it. That's all that really matters. Right, this one I think might have sound, so... There's them. Do I agree or disagree that...
Lego Batman is the best movie ever. Literally. I can't. Do you agree or disagree that Lego Batman?
I disagree, but it's up there, and I respect that opinion heavily. It's not the best. Do I think it's the best movie? No, I don't. I think it's up there though. I think it's a very good movie. I think it's a very, very good movie. Lego Batman's crazy. Yeah, I mean, you know what pisses me off though? Kind of. It is just the cutscenes of Lego Batman 2. So I'd argue actually that although Lego Batman makes a perfectly good movie, simply Lego Batman 2 is a fucking sick game. Like, actually just a really sick game. The open world in Lego Batman 2 is fucking crazy. Like the open world in Lego Batman 2 was one of the best open worlds I played in like games. Never mind Lego games. It was the first Lego game with an open world. It had I used to waste hours just driving around the map, flying around, running around as the Flash, whatever. There was a lot to discover. The gameplay was good. The story was great. That's why they managed to turn all the cutscenes into a fucking movie. So honestly, that's not the same movie. It isn't. Oh shit! No, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I forgot they made like a Lego movie-esque Lego Batman movie. That's also very good, and also is definitely an allegory for like gay love. There's a video essay about that that's worth watching, by the way. Sorry. Yes. No. I've remembered now what we're talking about. Yeah. No. It's it definitely it is. But no. Sorry. Lego Batman 2, amazing game, but that's completely unrelated point. Yes, the Lego Batman movie is good. It's all about being gay. It's all about being gay. There's a video about it. Watch is Lego. Just look up Lego Batman movie gay. Just look up Lego Batman gay. I'll probably show up. Yeah, Lego Batman's subversive queer coding. That's the video. It's a very good video. It's definitely worth watching. And it got a lot of flame from parents for being too gay as well. It was like a genuine thing. Either way. Weirdest gift I ever given or received. 30 different shadow hands to make. It'll be fun for when you're drunk. Yeah, I think it is fun. It's fine. Figuring out my dating goals, whatever happens, you know? I respect that. It's a funny little image. You seem fun. 2 mirrors. Dating me is like having a pet goblin. I like that. It's funny. Me and my best friend. I'm neurodivergent. Yippee! Why does your dog have a toothbrush? Why does your dog have a toothbrush in its mouth? That's the biggest kind of like one that I'm confused about. Can I be honest? I think if you think Lego Batman's the best movie of all time, you probably know about the queer coding stuff. And I think that'd be a very interesting little discussion to have with someone on a date. I think you'll be interesting on a date. Also this, I think that's another interesting thing I'd have to ask about on the date. I'd be excited for the first date. I think if I saw this profile, like I'd be excited for the first date. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like I'd just be like, they seem fun. They seem fun. They have two things there that I would be like, show me that. Like show me the hand puppets. And I'd be like, fucking talk to me about Lego Batman. Because like, obviously I am educated on Lego Batman. But like, you know, at the end of the day, I'd be like, hey, have you seen this video essay? This is a... This is a 9 out of 10 profile. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I'm a little bit scared of when there's scissors in your mouth. Don't come near me like that. You might stab me or some shit. I'm a little bit scared of that. That one scared me a little bit, and that's why. I give it a 9. Because of my fear. The little Carrefour robot. I like Carrefour. I never seen the robot because I only ever go to Carrefour when I'm in Spain. But I really fuck with that supermarket. I don't know why. But going shopping with my family on holiday was always fun. Just being in a foreign country and like kind of like seeing all like the brands you don't recognize and like you know, I imagine he's a helpful little guy. I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. A little helpful little robot. I like Carrefour. I like going there. There's also a good supermarket. Like the European markets always got the better. They got like good delis and like good like fishmongers and shit. They also, it's good. It's just good. I like it there. I like it when I go to Spain. It makes me feel it makes me feel like a nostalgia, like when I used to go on holiday. It's 10 out of 10. I fuck with it. I like that little robot. He's probably real nice. I like that. Cool. Let me tell you, folks, I think dating this guy would be huge. I really do. Not huge in a good way. I think it would actually be hugely terrible for you. It would be awful. It would be terrible. That's what I'm saying. I think this is a profile that is actually... It's maybe only a 1 out of 10, and I'm only saying that because the makeup is kind of slay. That's all I'm saying. fuck's sake. All right, Emma, let's have a look at this profile then. Come on, Emma. Emma! Calm yourself. Let's have a look at this profile. You live in Limerick. Limerick's kind of a cool place name because a limerick's also like... Well, it's a limerick, isn't it? I forgot. What does limerick mean again? Limerick. No, not the place. What is... Ah, there was an old man with a beard who said, "It is just as I feared." Let me read you a limerick. I liked that little limerick. I want to read that. Let me find... Where is it? Where's the limerick? Hold on. Let me read you a limerick really quick, and then we'll move on. There was an old man with a beard who said, "It was just as I feared. 2 owls and a hen, 4 larks and a wren have all built their nests in my beard." That's a limerick. I like the rhythm of it. They're fun. They're fun little verses. I love little limericks. They're really fun. I'm gonna read another limerick and then we'll move on. The limerick is furtive and mean. You must keep her in close quarantine, or she sneaks up to the slums and promptly becomes disorderly, drunk, and obscene. Oh! I got another one. There once was a man from Nantucket who kept all of his cash in a bucket, but his daughter named Nan ran away with a man, and as for the bucket, Nantucket. I like that. Someone just said in chat, Limerick, also known as Stab City, and now I fear for you, but at the same time, I like your silly little place name. I like them. They're fun little verses. They make me grin. Either way, you're from a place with the name of that. I think that makes you interesting. You're a dog, which is always... I'm joking, but you got that dog in you. You said it. You're into rugby. Oh, that's always cool. My brother once famously said that there's nothing more attractive than that a woman can be into than rugby. And now, although I don't agree with him, it clearly works for some people. So, you know, I'm not saying it's unattractive to be into rugby, by the way. I've just never once in my life thought, I just like, cool. That's cool for you. Bro, you're so bald. No, I'm not. I have like more hair than usual at the moment. I don't know. You know, I pray on your downfall. I'm sorry, I don't not like rugby. I think it's cool she's into rugby. But at the same time, like, it doesn't do anything for me more than like not being into rugby does. My brother seems to think it does. So there you are. Either way, I mean, yeah, it's a fine profile. Like, you know, 7 out of 10. It's lacking a lot. There's just not very much to it. I'm not, you know. It's just a few pictures. They're good pictures. I like them. I like the pictures. They're fine. You know. I learned a little bit about you. It's like a 7. Yeah, like, it's fine. I just haven't learned anything, is all. I like the Red Bull racing thing. I mean, F1's kind of cool. Oh, I saw this one. Gabby, let's have a look at your profile, Gabby. Let's have a look, Gabby. Lives in Limerick. She lives in Hickory Dickory Dock. OMG. Oh, Hickory Dickory Dock is a Limerick. Yeah. Hickory Dickory Dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 1. The mouse ran down. Hickory Dickory Dock. Well, that's not a Limerick. The clock struck 1. The mouse ran down. Doesn't rhyme. Hickory Dickory Dock. The mouse ran up the clock. The first part is the clock struck 1. The mouse ran down. That doesn't rhyme. That's not a Limerick. That doesn't count. That like second one's got a rhyme. Almost. I know it's a nursery rhyme, but it's almost like a limerick. That's not the lyrics. What? It's always been the lyrics. Don't gaslight me. Don't make me think I got Hickory Dickory Dock. Hickory Dickory Dock. Let me read this. Oh, sorry. The mouse went up instead of the mouse ran up. My bad, guys. Jesus fucking Christ. Come off. Come off that. Come on now. Really? Hickory Dickory Dock. The mouse went up the clock. The clock struck 1. The mouse went down. Hickory Dickory Dock. I just replaced went with ran. Does it really? Oh my. You guys piss me off. I'm pissed about that. Either way. Gabby, you're a struggling musician. All right, hold on. Wait, there's no music. Let's continue playing music. Sorry. Can do a flying roundhouse kick. That's actually pretty fucking cool. I'm impressed by that. That I'm impressed by. Cool picture. Another cool picture. Like that you have friends. Cool picture at a gig. Like it. It's going a bit quick for me. Festivals, travel, music, concerts, outdoors. That's cool. And look, you look like you're traveling here. It's kind of sick. Next. Don't want children vaccinated. Cool. Love languages, touch. That's sick. I like that. University of Technology, Sydney. Lives in New South Wales. Less than a kilometer away. How did you get here? I'm joking. The Ritz. Cool song. Cool picture as well. I really fuck with this selection of pictures. This is good. That's a cool picture. Like, it goes hard. Cool picture with friends. Cool picture. Like, that's candid. Like, you look like you're having fun. Another one where you look like you're having fun. This is kind of silly. Like, I like it. That's a fun one, too. Like, yeah. Well, and the music taste. Actually, the music taste is... God, this is, like, bang on my music taste as well. I'm going to have some bias here, but like, this is like a... You know what? You know what it is? Oh, you said like she doesn't want children vaccinated. Sorry, no. She doesn't want children and she's vaccinated. You know what? I'm going to say it. It's like a 10 out of 10 Tinder profile. I feel like the thing with Tinder is, like, Tinder has less information. Like, if this was a Hinge profile, I'd judge it harshly because there's not very much you can really put on there. But, like, 10 out of 10 is just fine. It's just, like, it's good. I like it. You can do a fucking roundhouse kick. You're a musician. I'd find that interesting. I'd love to speak to you about that. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'd like it. What's your profile look like? I don't have one. I'm scared of that place. I'm scared that someone will recognize me and go, JackManifold from YouTube, and I'll go, ah! And I'd have to uninstall the app. I'd have to. Your girlfriend is pregnant, remember? If I rate your profile highly, it doesn't mean I'm not going to date any of you. If you submit your profile to this stream, you're not going to date me ever, right? As simple as that. It's not going to happen. Unless you're someone I already kind of, like, know and I'm friends with. I guess if you're, like, a friend of mine that, like, submitted it as a little joke, a little jest, then, yeah, maybe I would then, but, you know. You know what really shocks me? Neither Jago nor Pineley have replied with their dating profiles. They always reply to these things with their dating profiles. Yeah, 10 out of 10. And here's an example of a really bad one.
Manifold-induced happiness.
Human school. I like to do general human things. You know what? The problem is with this, you think it's almost like in the so bad it's good category, where it creates so much fucking intrigue. I'd probably swipe with it to at least talk to them. And then if they're really good at texting, they've won me over. I'll be honest. In terms of effectiveness, this is like a solid 8. Like, I'm sorry. It's weird as fuck. But, like, the human. Like, it's solid. It's solid. Like, I'd be like, all right. And if they got good talking game, like, if they've got chat, then they've won you over. That isn't me, by the way. Before you fucking start. All right, let's read this. Allison. A niche internet micro-celebrity with the brain of a 12-year-old boy. Can I give you some advice? Comparing yourself to a 12-year-old boy when looking for a romantic and perhaps sexual partner, generally in my experience, isn't the way to go. Generally, in my experience, it isn't going to find you the right type of person. I realize that this was probably done with the best intentions, and it's just a little bit of self-deprecation. But, you know, okay, sorry, when I say in my experience, that was a poor turn of phrase. From what I understand is more what I should have said. From what I understand of the world is what from my experience, I don't mean I've experienced this. I mean from the experiences I have gathered throughout life and my understanding of the world itself. That would be bad. Also, don't tell people you're a niche internet micro-celebrity unless you're trying to get free things. Never mind the Joker makeup, it makes up for it. Also, do you mean Matt Watson? I did that one time too. I didn't take a picture, but I've met Matt Watson. Also, we relate. Allison, I feel like you're trying to be me. You say you're a niche internet micro-celebrity who dresses as the Joker, has met Matt Watson, totally knows how to tweet. I digress. Complete with the 7 evil white boys and you win. I don't get that. What? Forcing you to watch Super Mega Japan.
20 months yippee.
You sound a little bit too like me. Too much like me. My problem. I know it's a Scott Pilgrim reference, right? Is that what it is? Is it a Scott Pilgrim thing? The 7 evil exes, and he keeps consistently saying ex-boyfriends, and then she keeps saying no exes, and he really gets confused by it, and then it turns out one of them's a girl. And it's like the early 2000s, so I guess that was shocking. I didn't find my soulmate. No, I found an identity theft. This is a crime. This isn't flattery. This is a crime. This is a 3 out of 10. You said you were a 12-year-old boy and you stole my whole personality. And your Scott Pilgrim reference, I didn't get it at first. Yeah, that's your fault, not mine. I like this one because it's interested me. I just kind of like this like outfit pick. I feel like it says a lot about you. Like, you know what I mean? Like plenty of pictures of your face, lots of different angles and stuff. I like it. It's a decent collection of pictures. I don't really fuck with this one too much. I'd have picked a different one here. Like maybe one of you and your friends. But like generally this is cool. I like this though because I feel like you say a lot with it whilst like I don't really learn anything about what you look like, but you show me like an outfit and I'm like, I'm learning a lot about your vibe. I feel like I'm getting a big vibe from this. You know, the phone case and stuff and the bag. I feel like I'm seeing all your accessories and I'm learning a lot about your vibe from them. And I feel like that's interesting. All right, never mind. Your job is meow. Let's put our beds... Oh, they had us in the first half as well. Never mind. Nah. Never mind. Bro. Meow. You put your job as meow. Let's put our beds together in Minecraft. It's a 6. I still like your picture, but you've let me down with that. Absolutely, you've let me down. Oh, here's a guy I know. Ben Lewis. I don't know if you guys know Ben Lewis. What does Ben Lewis do? I've forgotten his job. I think he does the Sidemen merch. Sorry, Ben. I've only ever met... I've met him at social events. Either way. University of Greenwich. Lives in London. Triple vax, you can safely spit in my mouth. Will beat anyone at Mario Kart. You know what? I actually kind of fuck with it. I'm not just saying this because I know the guy. Because I'm about to roast him because he's outside the fucking toilets at Box Park. I fucking hate Box Park. I went to one Box Park and I hate it. Yucky bio. I don't know. I don't mind it. I think it's funny. It's like, you know, if you're not into that thing, fine. If you are, it's like, oh, it's a funny little comment. It's a funny little comment. And he's not spitting in your mouth. I feel like if he said, you know what? I wouldn't fuck with it if he said triple vax so I can spit in your mouth. I think that comes off a bit aggressive and a bit like, what if I don't fucking want you to, weirdo? But asking to have your mouth spat into, I think is like, it's submissive. Let's just put it out there. It's submissive, and there's nothing threatening about being submissive. You know? He's just being a silly little submissive guy. And I think for a dude to be so open about that, my opinion, so that's how diseases spread. He's triple vaxxed. He just said so. You may find it weird. He's just telling you what he's into. He's being open. Will beat anyone at Mario Kart. I respect that confidence, though. I kind of like it. Maybe it's because I do know the guy, and I like him. The few times we've met have been very pleasant. But also, I'm knocking you down for being outside the fucking Box Park toilets, bro. The Box Park toilets? Who wants to brag about being at Box Park, right? Box Park, from what you know, okay, is... What did I say? Did I say from what you know? I meant to say for those of you who don't know, and I said from what you know, right? Did I say that? Can we just get to the bottom of that before we move on? What did I say? Did my brain turn off? I did. All right, that was weird. Either way, for those of you who don't know, it's like a little social bar, a little bar place, a little social club in the UK made of old freight containers. Now, that generally I think is a very sustainable and good idea. Old freight containers turn into a building. It's built very, very cheap, and therefore they can sell the boxes cheap. They're generally in London. Bars are very expensive in London. It gives students a place to drink. Conceptually. Right? Sounds very cool. However, I went there. As you queue up, they make you register with your email to get a black card to enter. It's not like having a black card like gets you free drinks or anything. It's just a membership card, and you need it to get in. And it feels like it wants to be an exclusive club without actually being one. And I found that the drinks were really shit. It's like one tiny little bar and you have to queue up for fucking ages with everyone. I saw a guy openly doing coke in the bathroom. Like, I've seen people do coke in bathrooms at bars, right? You just got to accept that that's how it is. But I mean, he didn't go into the stall and do his coke. He was stood there pissing at the urinal and just looked at me dead in the eyes and went, just kind of like, and then like got mad at me for looking at him while he did it. As if I was like, I didn't mean to. I just accidentally caught his eyes. He did a line. And like, he got mad at me. You know? And I was like, damn. You know? Urinal, whatever. Were you okay? I was fine. He just kind of gave me a weird look and then I just peed and left. But it, you know? But do you like my Tinder profile, Jack? I do, Ben Lewis. Welcome. I was saying, most people in the chat actually really hate the triple vaccine safely spit in my mouth, but I think it's a quirky little joke. I think it's probably going to work for you. You know, at the end of the day, I was saying, I think if you had said to spit in other people's mouth, that comes off a little bit like, what if I don't fucking want you to, dude? It's aggressive. But the fact that you're kind of offering your mouth as a receptacle, it's submissive and it's kind. So there you are, Ben. That's my review. Yeah. I think it's funny weird. Yeah, exactly. Be a little bit weird. You'd be a little bit freaky. It's fun. You know, it's a. But I'm indeed single, guys. Now, Ben. You know what? It's fun. It's whatever, guys. All right, and this is just someone replying with the fact that my fucking service provider on my phone is Virgin. And yes, you are right. Every single time I look at my phone, it says Virgin at the top. But then I prove it wrong because my my lock screen is me like having sex with Kit Wisp. So, you know, it kind of like it balances out. It says Virgin, but then everyone knows I'm not a virgin. Kind of cool. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. You know. Cool. Either way. Guys, I think I've reviewed enough Tinder profiles. We've been doing this for nearly an hour and a half now. And at the end of the day, we got another thing we need to do this stream. And that is, we need to play the hit game Portal. However, we need to play Portal with RTX. Guys, did you know that Nvidia was so kind as to send me a graphics card? A 4090 card, to be precise, because they're really fucking hard to get a hold of. And my computer was breaking. My old 3090, which I'll now pick up because it's outside of the computer. This, my old reliable over here that had cool lights. It looks kind of cool. Nice little graphics card. However, sadly, was on its last legs because it isn't Nvidia official. And that's why I went wrong. However, Nvidia have sent me their official 4090 card, really fucking hard to get a hold of. I really do appreciate it. Little card. Hey, you should see the 4090. That thing's fucking little compared to it. The 4090 is it's bigger than a house brick. And that's not an exaggeration. It's huge. Either way, Nvidia sent me a free 4090. And they said I had to play Portal with RTX to show off the RTX technology if I wanted to have it. However, what they failed to recognize is that Portal 2 is my favorite game ever. All right, Portal 2 is literally my favorite game of all time. It's the best game of all time, in my opinion, Portal 2. So Portal, obviously, by proxy, is one of my favorites. It's a very good game, right? And they failed to... When they said...
Jack, you're a true G.
Thank you. They said I needed to play Portal for an hour. What they failed to recognize is... Portal is not a very long game. And a man like me who has played Portal several times before can probably beat it in less than an hour if I really put my mind to it. So, let me open my speedrunning timer. Because on this rest of the stream, we're going to be trying to beat Portal in less than an hour, while also hopefully showing off some of the RTX features, because there is some like hidden Easter eggs in this, which maybe we'll go back and find afterwards, which technically defeats the purpose, because then I will probably stream for more than an hour. But now I've set myself this goal, I just really want to do it. So let me try and find my my live split. Let me find live split and open it. Here it is. Okay. And is it still? Cool. All right. Cool. All right. Well, before we run Portal, I was just testing the timer works. Let me just set it to Portal RTX. Is that? Okay, it's not. It's just you just put the category as Portal, right? Portal with RTX? No, it just shows up as Portal. All right, cool. Well, okay. Switch it over. But before we do switch it over, before we switch over completely, I'll tell you what. No, we can't switch over. You're going to Google what Portal is about again because you forgot? Take a guess, genius! It's in the name, man! Either way. Guys, it's the top of the hour. And you know what that means. We are about to run the top of the hour ad. That is right, people. Every hour at the top of the hour, we run ads on this stream. Only for 1 minute. Do not worry. It's not very long. And we'll be right back with the content immediately afterwards.
4 months keeping up with the manifold grind.
Thank you, Talia Plays. Appreciate it. So, if you guys would like not to watch the ads, I really do appreciate it. If you do, by the way, as it does directly support me and it doesn't cost you a penny. But if you do have pennies to spare and hate ads, then you can subscribe for the low price of $4.99 to miss every single ad for 30 days. You will have 30 days where you will not have to watch any ads at all. And then, or, sorry, as an alternative, if you can't afford the $4.99, do not worry. You can click subscribe right now, and I encourage every single person in the stream to do this. A lot of people saying I'm broke, that's fine. If you click the subscribe option right now, you may have the Prime option available. It is completely free, and you cannot spend it anywhere else, so why not use it on your favorite streamer, who absolutely is me? Like, Cryer, I think that is. I assume those are just like little lines. Thank you so much. Hey, the Scarlet Moth, Daisy Jew, thank you for all the subs. Appreciate it. You guys will not have to watch any ads at all, okay? You'll not have to watch a single ad.
5 total months.
But of course, if you are broke and you cannot afford a Prime or anything, you can always just watch 1 minute worth of ads. It is going to run right now. I'll see you in a minute. Yo, thank you for the hype train, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Funny story.
Thank you for
I was watching Cal Freezy the other day and my mom comes over and asks why I am watching Matt Hancock. Anyways, thank you for everything.
Oh, wait, what's that TikTok where it's like, what the hell? That is literally... Wait, no, it goes, that is literally Cal Freezy. What on earth? There's a TikTok that says that. That is literally Cal Freezy. What on earth? No, that's not it.
This is the first time this has ever happened.
Where's that TikTok? It's like a TikTok was like, that is literally Cal Freezy. What on earth? I met Cal Freezy the other day. Oh no, I've met Cal Freezy before. What am I talking about? I went to his office the other day, and he was there. And as I walked in the room, he was having a meeting, so then I immediately left. But I then spoke to him afterwards. But yeah, I was in their little office the other day. Jack Manifold, would you ever go on the Fellas podcast? I was never invited on the Fellas podcast, though I have been to the studio because a lot of podcasts are around out the Fellas podcast studio. You guys could probably guess which podcast I went on. In fact, I believe my episode should be out anytime now. Playing too lots of music. Let me check. Let me look at the podcast. Have a look at the podcast. Still not out. Still not out yet. Still not out. New podcast comes out every other day or so, though, so you never know. My podcast, sadly, isn't out there. Some people got it. Either way, the podcast will be out soon, I'm sure. Anyways, the ads are over. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed them. It is now time to play Portal with RTX. So, let's get this shit. Let's do this. You didn't hear GK Barry. You never heard GK Barry. I didn't spoil it by accident by accidentally playing a little bit of audio. Hopefully this runs while I'm streaming, by the way. I haven't tried running this whilst live yet. Well, that's a bit loud. Let's hope this works, eh? Seems to be loading. It seems to be working. It's a little bit slower than usual, but it seems to be working. Also, you notice when I load games anymore, it doesn't lag. That's thanks to the new 4090 that NVIDIA gave me. Thank you, NVIDIA. Let's start a new game. Start a new game. I love this game with a passion, by the way. It's not as good as Portal 2. I'm not going to lie. Portal 2 is the best game ever. This is pretty up there. Ooh, is it laggy? Is it laggy? Is it laggy? It looks a little bit laggy on my OBS, but sometimes OBS just kind of...
Hello, and again, welcome to the
Okay.
Aperture Science
It's fine, 'cause they-
Computer-Aided Enrichment Center. We hope your brief detention in the relaxation vault has been a pleasant one. Your
No.
specimen has been processed, and we are now ready to begin the test proper. Before we start, however, keep in mind that although fun and learning are the primary goals of all Enrichment Center activities, serious injuries may occur. For your own safety and the safety of others.
There's a little bit of lag. All right, hold on. I know how to fix it, but you're not going to like it, chat. I can't lie to you. You are not going to like it at all. I'm just going to quickly restart the stream. It'll take no more than a couple of seconds. It'll take literally 2. It'll go down and it'll go straight back up. But I need you all to refresh. I need you all to reload. I don't want to drop a single viewer, all right? I want to drop a single viewer. This will literally take 30 seconds. It's just, there's an option that you cannot change while live. And I need to change that option. All right? It's going to be like this. All right? If I see a single person leave, I will cry when we get back. So just give me a second. We'll be back in the blink of an eye. See you in a sec.